government and at our country. Real populism fights for all Americans, while Tea Party populism divides us. But the big question is, how will vicious attacks like this play out in November? And here with analysis is the author of the New York Times bestseller 2010, Take Back America. Former Clinton advisor Dick Morris is back with us. Dick, welcome back.
Well, good to be here. I'm in Indianapolis, where I've been campaigning for Todd Young, who's going to defeat Barron Hill for the Congress as part of the GOP tsunami that is coming.
Well, look, one of the things, I'm referring you now as the optimistic Dick Morris. Every time you're on, Dick, I get tons of email, people calling, commenting, and they're saying you gotta tell Dick Morris to tone it down a hair, you know, because he's too optimistic. We're raising expectations so high, nobody can meet those expectations.
No, no, we're not. And you know, I've been to 38 House districts. This is my 38th district, and I'm on the ground looking at the polls, meeting with the candidates. I got to tell you, I wrote a column, it's on dickmorris.com, called The Danger of Underconfidence. Not overconfidence, underconfidence. And my case is that there are races all over this country of Democrats who are supposedly invincible and unbeatable. And when you poll those districts, you find they're ahead 45-41, that they can be defeated. I just found one in Florida, a guy, Mike Yost, who's running against Corinne Brown, a 22-year Democratic liberal. He could defeat her. And I'm launching tomorrow. You go to dickmorris.com, and by the way, every morning I have a blog about the campaign. But tomorrow I'm launching a new PAC, which is going to concentrate on the 60th, 70th, 80th, 90th, and 100th seat. In other words, my case is that there are districts out there, like Barney Frank's and Steny Hoyer's and Dingell's in the House, where you could defeat him if you go in and you advertise and you do an independent expenditure. Look, and we're hopeful of raising $10 million to do that. And I think that we're going to win 60 to 80 seats. We're going to win the Senate. And I think it is conceivable that we could win as many as 100.
The one thing that's fascinating to me, as I have many friends that have been running for office, you read the polls, and you're as good a poll reader as anybody that I know in the country, Dick, is there's no, we all know already, no Democrats running on the stimulus, on cap and tax, on health care. But
right.
We do.
They have no message.
They have no message. So, all right, politics of personal destruction, that rules the day. But as I read the internals, there are still many people that don't know where their congressman or woman stands. I actually have their votes on my website, Hannity.com, because I think these congressmen and women have done a pretty effective job going back to their districts, portraying themselves for something that they are not, which is moderate. And their votes show a very different story. So your message, we got 29 days to go, your message to candidates to circumvent that propaganda
is to absolutely lay out just the facts of the voting record. I was against the stimulus, he was for it. I was against Obamacare, he was for it. I was against TARP, he was for it. Citizens United and I have a movie that we just came out with on Friday called battleforamericamovie.com. battleforamericamovie.com, that says this whole case. We have Gingrich and Ann Coulter and Fred Barnes and I and a bunch of others. And our message is that you don't have to throw adjectives, you don't have to throw personal negatives. All you have to do is accurately describe their voting record. And there is a broad public consensus in this country that the stimulus isn't working, that Obamacare is destructive, and you just have to bring that. But, John, if we raise our sights and we don't settle for a 40 or 50 or 60 seat gain, we could not only gain in Congress, we could wipe out an entire generation of Democratic congressmen.
One of the things besides polling that you're noted for and that you're really good at is writing campaign ads. So if you were to write, because I think the story is very similar around the country, is that these candidates that I was referring to earlier, you know, anywhere between 96 and 99% of the time they vote with the leadership and President Obama. So give us the perfect campaign ad. What would it be?
Well, I'll tell you one that I wrote for Christine O'Donnell. I don't know if she's going to run it, but I think it's great. I start with Rick Wilson helped me with this. I start with a black castle and witches and goblins and all kinds of stuff. and we say it's only a month before Election Day, but everyone's talking about, and then we have Rachel Maddow and Katie Couric and others saying witchcraft, witchcraft. Then it morphs into the Capitol Dome, and we say, but it's here in Washington that the black magic is taking place. Voodoo budgets, demonic deficits, and a coven of 3 witches who are brewing up tax increases for next year. It's to stop this kind of witchcraft that Christine O'Donnell is running for the Senate.
That's a good, for that specific, that's a good one, especially, but I don't think most other candidates have, quote, had to deal with this charge of dabbling in witchcraft. No, but I got to run. We're just out of time. Dick, good to see you.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up now, if the Republicans win control, he could be the next Speaker of the House. House Minority Leader John Boehner is here in studio to talk about what is at stake in this election and what he thinks of the recent row with the White House. That and much more coming up straight ahead.
Wow, you have got to be kidding me. 80 calories?
Light and Fit has 80 calories versus 100 in the other leading brand. Light and Fit, irresistible taste, fewer calories.
I love Light and Fit. I love working with animals, but my allergies put me in a fog. So now I'm